Hi everyone, so I just wanted to make a quick video because I wanted to talk about a show that's coming out this week called Atypical, about an autistic character who struggles to communicate and to get to know people and struggles to make his way through life. And when I first heard about this show that Netflix were going to make Atypical, I was really excited when it first came out over a year ago. Then when I found out that the character was going to be played by something Gillespie or something, and then I found out that he wasn't autistic, I was disappointed, to be frank, because as an autistic actor myself, I know how difficult it is to find work, along with all my other acting friends who, and I know some who are autistic and many others who aren't as well, and even for those who aren't autistic who are in the acting industry, it's still very hard to come by. But when you start seeing that the vast majority of disabled roles that are played by actors are actually portrayed by non-disabled actors. I mean, I saw a statistic in the Stage newspaper. This was over 2 years ago now. I think it was about 2 years ago. I think I was living in London at the time, and I did read about that 90% of disabled roles were being fulfilled by non-disabled actors, which, if I'm being honest, is very disheartening. Because I know a lot of disabled actors, not just autistic actors, but other actors with other different all sorts of disabilities, and it would be nice if they would get an opportunity as well, not just myself as well. And I think there's more than, the problem is it's more than just the actual shows at the moment. The problem goes right back with the training as well, because I actually think that discrimination is even worse in drama school in terms of encouraging diversity. And there is currently a investigation into that by a couple of MPs at the moment, Gloria DePiro and Tracy Brabin, who are looking into the issue of working class actors and whether being working class disadvantages you compared to actors from a background, from a private education background. And I've applied for drama school myself once. I didn't get in. I'm not ashamed of that, because it is very difficult to get in, just even if you're not disabled as well. I know people who have tried 6 years, still didn't get in, and then they got in on the 7th. So it's not there's nothing to be ashamed of not getting into drama school. It is notoriously difficult. You know, there's so few places for the actual amount of people who actually get in. But when you actually look at the actual figures and of people from other minority backgrounds, not just disabled people, but also black minority and ethnic, whether they come from working class backgrounds, whether they're LGBT as well, is another huge issue as well. A lot of actors in the industry at the moment don't identify as LGBT. And that is a big problem as well, because the figure for LGBT the amount of people who are LGBT in the workplace and everything, people identify, but in a working acting environment, a lot of actors don't identify as LGBT, and some reasons why that may be is because, the issue to do with typecasting. If you come out as a gay actor, it may typecast you just to play gay roles, and if you are a gay actor, you can play straight roles, you can play gay roles. Like a straight actor can play a gay character as well. And it's the same with disabled characters as well. Disabled actors, they can play non-disabled roles as well. So there's this issue of, obviously, myself as an autistic actor, I like to play non-autistic roles as well. But I would like to have the opportunity to play autistic roles if they come up as well. And all the other people that I know who are autistic, who are actors as well. Because there's been too many examples. It's not just atypical as well. It's also the A word as well. Even EastEnders. EastEnders is a show that is famous for tackling the sensitive and the... tackling really, really taboo topics of the day. For example, back in the 90s, when it had, I think it was Mark Fowler who came out as HIV positive. Back then in the 90s, it was not talked about and everything. Anybody who was HIV positive was sort of cast out and everything. And they also had the first gay kiss on EastEnders as well. And then they had a fantastic storyline about 10 years ago as played by Lacey Turner, who shown the issue of having bipolar. But why is it a show like EastEnders, who's very good at tackling these sensitive taboo topics, has never ever had an autistic actor or autistic character into their show? We've seen quite a few LGBT characters in EastEnders, which is great. Love that. Same with black minority ethnic. We still haven't seen an autistic actor. Doctor Who is another one as well. Much of the most committed fan base of Doctor Who fans is probably actually autistic people with autism, Asperger's as well. But we haven't really had proper characters who come from an autism background, when the actual most committed fan base probably do have autism. So that's another issue as well. It's also the Big Bang Theory as well. Character in there obviously shows a lot of traits of Asperger's. It's not actually clear. Netflix also has some other shows where they display with characters with mental health issues and disabilities as well, but it's not actually known in the program. Orange is the New Black is one that I love at the moment. And the character Suzanne, she is somebody who has a lot of traits to do with autism. It's not actually known yet, if that's what she's got. But I would love it. I would love it if Orange is the New Black would actually diagnose it into her character, so it actually becomes official. Because that would be a good way to get awareness as well. There's a new show on Netflix as well called Ozark, which I saw that they had cast a disabled actor. I'll leave a link in the description, which is great to see. But come back to Atypical, and it's great. We've got a show, a main character about autism, who has autism, who's autistic and everything. And I have no disrespect against the lead actor, Kia. It's about time that we do have some autistic actors playing autistic characters. And I know that there are some great autistic actors out there. Jules Robertson is one of them. Gene Binchy, he done a great show called The Misfit Analysis that he toured last year. And then there is Jules Robertson as well, who's been in Holby City as well. So there are a few good actors as well, but also not actors as well. There's also some creators as well, presenters as well, like Chris Packham as well. So there is autistic talent out there, and it's just a shame that they're not it's not, you know, we're not using that talent. And I would just, you know, if Atypical is a success, which I'm in two minds about at the moment, because I want it to do well, but then again I don't want it to do well. But if it is reasonable success and Netflix do renew it for a second season, I really would love to see Netflix give more disabled actors an actual chance. If they do have any supporting characters who are played by a character with autism, it would be great if we can find out who those people are and we can hear a bit more about them. And if the show did come back, it would be great to actually see if we can have more shows. We can have more characters in the show for the next season, if there is a second season. So I'm going to kind of leave it there, because I think it has been over 10 minutes now since I've been talking about this. But let me know what you think, if you agree with me, if you don't agree with me, if there's anything else you want me to talk about. I try not to talk about myself too much. I always like to talk about the positives as well as the negatives as well. I don't know if I do this kind of thing again, but if you did enjoy this video, I don't know, then let me know, and maybe I will do this kind of thing more often in the future. So before I go, make sure you check out Atypical on Netflix. It comes out this Friday. And yeah, I may see you again next time.